Hello and welcome back to this SAP Business One tip of today. I apologize about the technical problem we had just earlier. I hope you are still watching. If not, you can of course watch this at a later time, as all the tips are being recorded and stored in our YouTube channel. So let's try this again. Today, I want to share with you the SAP user groups. This is an enhancement in SAP Business One 9.3. Before that, you had user authorization groups, and that made it easier for onboarding new users and not having to go through all the authorization grid in order to assign the correct authorizations to the user, but you could do it by role. Once you have the user authorization groups, you have a group of authorizations predefined, and you can assign that to a new user, so onboarding becomes a lot easier. But in SAP Business One 9.3, you now not only have user groups for authorization, but for other things as well. How do you get to the user groups window that I just opened? It's administration, setup, general, and user groups. So as I was saying before, we only had authorization group for users, but now we have groups for alerts, for form settings, and even for UI configuration templates. And the best of all is that you can also choose a cross all types group, which means that if you previously had a group for finance authorizations, and you are now creating a new group for finance form settings or sales or any other role, you can then just create a group that combines all of those settings, and onboarding of new users becomes a lot easier. How do you create a new group? You just click on create new group, you give it a name, and we always recommend for the group to be as descriptive as possible. So in this case, if you're going to create an all type group that that condenses all those that we were mentioning, I would call it something like all types, so that we're clear that form settings are included, alerts, authorizations, and UI settings as well. So I would say all type, let's say that we're creating customer service. And then you can even say forms, alerts, authorizations, UI. And so you will know that that you could probably include this in the description as well. And then when you choose the group type, you will choose cross all types. And here what you have to do is just add the users that you want to add to this group. Okay, so let's say that we're going to add Andres, and I'm also going to add myself to this group. And that would be all. We just click on all, add, and we already have a group. When we come to the user groups window and we select groups for all cross all types, then we see the group that we just created. I will be sharing how you apply form settings from a user to a group. And for that, we need to go to the users window, and we choose, let's go to this user, for instance. Once we create a new user, just take any user that has already defined the form settings. And then here, you can say copy form settings. And before, we were able to copy these form settings to any other user or a number of users. But now we have this new option, and we can copy the form settings to a group. And it would be this all type customer service group that I just created. And that would copy those form settings will be the ones defined in that group. Okay. So that's all from me today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I want to share some content, some things that we're doing here at Consensus. Let me share the screen with you. So we have some interesting upcoming webinars, and You can register to any of these webinars by going to our website and then looking for them in the resources, webinars and workshops tab on our website, which is consensusintl.com. And the first webinar here, the SAP Business One certification webinar, we already ran that webinar, but it's available on demand on that same tab on our website. For any person that you know that is looking to reinvent their career path, and SAP Business One, it's a good option for them. Maybe you've worked with SAP Business One in the past, and you just want to sharpen your skills in SAP Business One, or you might think of SAP Business One as a new career path. I really encourage you to revisit that webinar and then contact me with any questions you might have. This series of business tips that we're doing in the mornings from Tuesday to Friday, it's another part of this campaign. And we also have two upcoming webinars that are very interesting and that we have designed with small and medium-sized businesses in our minds. It's a time of great uncertainty for many, and small and medium-sized businesses are it's a very challenging time for them. And we are hearing here and there that digital transformation is a must. So if you had been kind of postponing or delaying, the fact of going digital and transforming your company, probably that is no longer an option. But many people still don't understand, and I'm in that group many times. What do we mean when we say digital transformation? So digital transformation is a must, but what is it really? And is it enough if I already have an e-commerce platform? Am I already digital? Is there something else that I can do? Are there more technologies available for medium sized or small, medium sized companies out there? And where do you stand on your digital transformation path? That would be, I think, the first self-assessment that all companies need to do in order to know what their roadmap is for them and what the next steps are and what makes sense right now for them. So I've had discussions with customers that tell me, but I already have a website and I have social media. Well, yes, that is part of digital transformation, but it's important to know where do you stand in the whole staircase of digital transformation, and what else can you do, and how can you take advantage of what you already invested in. So for that webinar, we're inviting every small or medium-sized company owner or manager, and I think it's going to be really enlightening and helpful. It's going to be delivered by Edith Sagay, which is an SAP Business One product expert at SAP, and Mauricio Castrillon, who is our Vice President for Sales and Marketing here at Consensus. I really encourage you to join that webinar. And the following Thursday, we're having another webinar in which we also have Edith Sagay, because she's not only a product expert, but also she is a design thinking expert, and she's going to be joined by Greg Roop, our Vice President for Client Services here at Consensus, who also is trained in design thinking. And what we want to share with you on that webinar is design thinking as a tool to reinvent your company, and the way that you're going to be building your relationships going forward in this new reality. Again, going digital seems like a very clear option, but there are several different things that you could be thinking to reinvent your company, or to repurpose your services or your products, or the way that you deliver them, or the way that you interact with your vendors or your customers. And design thinking it's a powerful tool for you to go through that process. So design thinking, it's traditionally been executed in a room. I think you've probably all seen those type of meetings using design thinking methodology, with a lot of colorful post-its in walls and things like that. But we are, reimagining design thinking in order to use it remotely in this remote environment that we're all sharing right now. So that's going to be the following Thursday, May 21st. And again, you find all the information on our website, which is consensusintl.com. And thank you very much for joining us today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.